Hi, baby girl. Hi, baby girl.
At their first meeting, this dog did not try to draw attention to herself and did not stand out among the others. For almost 3 years, no one took her from the shelter, until one day, Jen walked in. This story begins on the day Jen drove to the shelter with one important decision. On the way there, Jen made a promise to herself. She would take the dog who had the hardest time finding a home. Not a puppy, and not the one that catches your eye right away, but the one people usually walk past. With that decision in mind, she stepped into the shelter, not knowing who she would be shown. The staff brought out Maggie, a dog who had been living there for almost 3 years. In that moment, Jen realized that Maggie would likely keep waiting, because all those years, no one had ever truly stepped forward for her. The shelter staff told Jen Maggie's story. She'd been found after one of the hurricanes in Texas, when many dogs arrived at shelters all at once. Since then, she had stayed there. She was a bully-type dog, and those dogs are adopted less often as people tend to be wary of them. Her age and dark coat made things even harder, and most people simply walked by without stopping. That was when Jen felt that Maggie's future was being decided right then. If she did not take her, Maggie might never get a real chance to leave the shelter and start a new life. Jen took Maggie out of the shelter and brought her home. She knew this would be a new and unfamiliar chapter for the dog, and from the first moments, she tried to create a sense of calm and safety. Jen bought a soft dog bed, chose a quiet spot in the house, and thought Maggie would settle there. But it quickly became clear that Maggie had her own idea of comfort. She ignored the bed and climbed onto Jen's bed, as if she had claimed it from the very start. Jen just smiled. There was no rudeness in it, only quiet confidence.
Little Miss Princess, you always take the middle spot. Can I join you?
But the happiness quickly mixed with tension, because someone in Jen's family was very afraid of having a dog in the house. Jen's mother, Gigi, had been against the idea of a dog from the beginning. She worried and openly said she was scared. When Jen brought Maggie into Gigi's home, Gigi saw the dog and, in a panic, ran into her room and shut the door. The tension filled the air, and Maggie seemed to feel it right away. She did not bark and did not try to get attention. When Gigi eventually came out of the room, Maggie lay down at her feet, rolled onto her back, and stayed there quietly, asking for nothing, as if giving time to those who were not ready yet. Little by little, Gigi's attitude toward Maggie began to change, and it showed in small ways.
I didn't tell. Good girl.
When Jen turned onto her mother's street, Maggie seemed to know exactly where they were going. She perked up, got excited, and later did not want to leave Gigi's house. Maggie bonded in a similar way with Jen's boyfriend.
Are you trying to steal my man? Maggie! That is my boyfriend.
One morning, Jen woke up and didn't see them in bed. She went into the living room and found them sleeping on the floor, pressed close together. Over time, Maggie clearly figured out who was almost always on her side and started using that to her advantage. It became clear who Maggie really was. When Jen tells her no, Maggie does not argue or get upset. She simply turns around and goes to Gigi or to Jen's boyfriend, knowing she might get a different answer there. In everyday life, Maggie turned out to be a calm, lazy, home-loving dog. She enjoys lying around, gets tired quickly, and does not go on long walks. Jen and Maggie developed their own way of communicating. Maggie makes different snorting sounds, and Jen has learned to understand each one. For Jen, Maggie slowly became the center of her life.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Love you. Love you. Love you.
She wakes up and falls asleep next to her, and can no longer imagine her future without the dog who spent almost 3 years simply waiting for someone to notice her.